Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Traders Corner January Online Trading Summit. Thank you for joining us today. On our panel, we've handpicked 7 professional traders and educators with over 150 years of combined trading experience. They've agreed to share their most consistent and profitable trading strategy with us today in a free educational forum designed to educate and provide a safe path to profitability. We have an extremely experienced and talented lineup on our panel today, so let's not waste any more time. Our first presenter for the last 16 years has come to be known as the Consistency Coach because he has been helping traders quickly turn their trading around. His approach to trading is unique in this industry. His years of experience as a trader, ASQ certified quality engineer, and business coach give him a unique perspective and allowed him to bring time-tested, real-world solutions from the business universe that are directly applicable to trading and have been proven to be very effective. Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the surprisingly simple secret to making money trading is Mr. Brian McAvoy with Inside Out Trading. Welcome to Traders Corner, Brian, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here, and thanks everybody for attending. My intention for this is to make it very worth your while, you being on here on a Saturday. And again, I thank you for that. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Brian McAvoy. I'm the creator of InsideOutTrading.com, and welcome to the surprisingly simple secret to making money trading. Now, why this is important. Today, you're going to discover the one thing that really does determine if you make money or not as a trader. It really is that critical, and it's just one thing, really. And this is no BS. It's not a hype. Today, you're going to get the one shift in perception that can change your future as a trader and allow you to finally leave behind the bad experiences of the past. Now, right along with the secret, you're also going to discover the 3 obstacles to making money that are in your control, not the uncertainty of the markets. These things are in your control that make the consistent part of consistent profits so difficult for many traders, and how 2 of the 3 have nothing to do with discipline or sticking to your system. So you're gonna get a couple of unique perspectives that you've probably never heard before today that can be very helpful. We're also going to cover the 4 things that you need to actually realize consistent profits month in and month out. Now, since we are talking about trading, I do have to include this disclaimer. As you know, trading involves substantial financial risk. This presentation is for education purposes only and is not intended to induce anyone to initiate any investment or trade. Your trading results are entirely your responsibility. Okay, so this is for you if you're brand new to trading and you want to do things right the first time and not go through the school of hard knocks like most traders do. If you've already been trading for more than 6 months and you feel lost or confused on what you should do. This is also for you if you've been trading for more than 6 months and you make money sometimes, but you struggle to end the month in profit. This is also for you if you struggle with your emotions while you're trading and you find yourself handing back profits time and again. If you've ever wondered, why you can be so successful at other things yet feel so out of control with trading. And also this is for you if you've ever wondered, what is it about trading, how it can look so simple yet be so blooming difficult to make money. Then you're definitely in the right place. Now, this is not for you if you're really still the opportunity seeker, get rich quick mindset that all you need is the holy grail trading strategy and you're set for life. This is not for you. You might as well leave now. Also, if you're not open to new ideas or perspectives that may substantially help you in your trading, and I'm not being sarcastic with that, it still amazes me how many people, they want help, but you start giving them what they need and they're like, no, that's not it. I know what I need. And so they're very closed-minded. So if you're not open to new ideas, again, I could save you some time. Also, if you just want to push a button and not really grow or develop as a trader, then this probably isn't for you. Again, if you're just looking for some little magic push button thing, this isn't for you. I'm actually going to help you become a better trader today. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, again, I'm a degreed mechanical engineer. I'm also an ASQ, that's American Society for Quality, certified quality engineer. Created InsideOutTrading.com, and over the last 17 years, I've helped over 3,000 traders go from losing money to consistently profitable, and just as big, really take their confidence from a 2 to an 8 or a 9. most of the time when I work with people, I'll ask them, where's your confidence right now? And usually the answer I get is, I'm at a 1 or a 2. And within just a few short weeks, we'll get them to an 8 or a 9 where, yeah, you're feeling really confident, and it's not just, hype and pump. You're actually feeling like you have a solid handle on things, which is really cool. So I've also had numerous brokers and educators take my training to help them do better in, their job and what they do. Also, again, before trading, I was a quality assurance manager. I worked in a $100 million manufacturing plant. We were making plastic bottles for Coke, Pepsi, Aquafina, Nestle Water, the big players. And it was a high-speed, high-volume operation with razor-thin margins, and consistency was a must. And the cool thing about this is quality assurance has been proven for decades around the world in pretty much every business on the planet to be effective to maximize profit and peace of mind. It's just plain, it's an effective approach to anything that's an ongoing, activity. And here's why. At its core, if you think about it, no matter where quality is applied, QA is about getting good, consistent, reliable, and predictable results. And that's why it's absolutely perfect for traders. And so you're going to get some perspectives today that, again, from my experience with quality assurance, that'll help you in your trading. So you may have seen me on the Chicago Board of Trade, investing.com, SI Futures, equities.com, or I've been on dozens of sites, events, podcasts, and YouTube channels over the years. And again, why should you listen to me? Well, here's an outside perspective from a professional trader and market analyst. John Foreman used to work for Reuters as a professional market analyst. His comment was, Brian McAvoy brings a refreshing new perspective to trader development. His background in process engineering really lets him approach things in a completely different way than most trading educators. As a result, you won't get the same old tired material from him. He will allow you to see your trading from a whole new angle, one which can definitely help you be a better trader. And Todd Lapira, his comment was, in your training, the lessons and exercises focus on what truly matters, me, the trader, the one thing that really does make the difference between winners and losers in trading. The perspectives you share in the exercises take a whole different approach to what it means to be a trader, and it makes so much sense. So that's a little outside perspective. In today's agenda, in our small amount of time together today, my goal is to make a big impact in the following ways. I really want to give you confidence in where there was once doubt and uncertainty. I know what it's like to be trading with doubt and uncertainty and anxiety and fear and stress, and it really sucks. And I want to be able to help you, again, replace that with confidence. Also, provide clarity. A lot of times, the big problem is like, I'm struggling and I don't know what to do. So I want to give you some clarity on what you can do and replace any confusion that you might have. Because really, the main thing is, I want to help you unlock the true potential that you have to live the life you desire through trading, because it is such a fantastic business to be in. If nothing else, I want you to leave this webinar today with new understandings and perspectives on trading that serve you well and allow you to make substantial progress forward toward your goals. That's really what, if nothing else, I hope that I can help you in this regard. Now, what I need from you, though, and this is really important, no matter where you are now with your trading, whether you're struggling to make money, you're getting crushed, or you're doing okay, you're breaking even, wherever you are, you're here because you want better than what's been going on, and better means different from the past and the status quo. Now, the only way to get new results, of course, is by doing something different than you have in the past. So what I need from you is implementation. Nothing pains me more than giving you a solution, yet running into you years later, still clinging hopelessly to your problem. So implementation, take what you learned here today and apply it. Don't just say, hey, that was cool, and then just let it pass you without taking advantage of it. So, excuse me. My trading story, real quick. I started off like most traders, knowing really only enough to be dangerous. I took a look at trading. It's like, I get it. I can do this, and I jumped in, and I really did not know what I was doing. I knew enough to start trading and beat and lose money. I really didn't get any real training on how to be a trader. I just jumped in and thought, hey, I can figure this out as I go, like a lot of people do. And what happened was I got pretty lucky at early on in my trading. My first year, I ran my account up to over $47,000. Then I blew up my account, and running it all the way down to just $1,700, which absolutely sucked. Now, obviously, I took a break, and what I did, though, was I had my background in quality, so I looked to, what had made me so successful in my day job. And part of the reason I did that was because, I looked at what was available for help in the trading space, and at the time, there just really wasn't much good help. So, but I was really successful as a quality manager, and I saw the value in it. And so what I did is, I applied the quality tools, practices, and perspectives to my trading, and I was able to get consistently profitable and stay that way and turn things around in really, really short order. And so, I know what the heartache of blowing up an account and watching its destruction and feeling helpless watching it happen. So that's why I help other people now, and that's why I started doing this years ago, so that I can help you avoid the same fate. Because when it works, it's a fantastic addition to your life, and when it doesn't, it can just take away from everything else. And I want to help you have the good stuff. So again, what we're going to cover today: the simple secret to making money trading, the 3 things that are in your control that make the consistent part of consistent profits so difficult for so many traders, how 2 of the 3 have nothing to do with discipline or sticking to your system, and the 4 things that you need to actually realize consistent profits month in and month out, not just sporadic profits that you get back. Okay. I also, at the end of things, if you stick around, I've got a free gift for you, a report I wrote a while back. It's called The Proven Formula of All Highly Profitable Traders. It was a report I did when I was researching one of the true trading legends, and I summarized in the step-by-step what he did that made him successful in addition to having a good system. It was the things that he did that really made him successful. And when I took a look at it, I saw that, most of all the other trading legends and pretty much any highly profitable trader, this is the formula that is followed. And so it's a free gift for you. At the end of the presentation, I will give you a link where you can download your copy of it. And it's my gift to you for showing up and sticking around. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump in and share the simple the simple secret to making money trading with you in just a minute. But first, do not make the mistake, please do not make the mistake that will prevent you from capitalizing on this simple secret. And here's what I'm talking about. One of my favorite quotes is from Mark Twain, and he said, what gets us into trouble is not what we don't know. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so. And I found it to be true of myself and a whole lot of other people. It's when, it's like, we know what the problem is, I know what the problem is, and that's just plain not accurate. But we know it, and so, that closed-mindedness is what really gets us into trouble, because we're operating on incorrect thinking. So here's the limiting mistake, really. Most traders assume that if they're struggling to make money consistently, if they're regularly, do things that hurt the bottom line, like hesitating, chasing trades, overtrading, staying in trades too long, all that kind of stuff, they assume that they know what the cause is. It's lack of discipline, and that they don't need to look any further. Now, discipline is part of it. I mean, of course, yes, you have to show up, and you can't just, be random and reckless in what you're doing. You do have to be somewhat disciplined, but nothing more than really normal for any job or any activity. There is more to it than just discipline. And believe it or not, there is more to it than just psychology or mindset, the way most everyone thinks, and the way you'll hear about it in a lot of the mindset and psychology conversations online. There are 2 other factors at play that contribute as much, if not more, than a lack of discipline. And these are really huge, and since they usually go, most people are unaware of them, they don't get attended to, and that's why, the difficulties can last indefinitely. There are actually 3 obstacles, and if you don't address all 3, that consistency that you seek will continue to elude you. And excuse me, you'll continue to be frustrated with missed profits and unnecessary losses. Okay. So that said, here's the secret and the 3 obstacles. The simple secret to making money trading, and it is this simple, is this: an average or even a mediocre strategy executed consistently will outperform and make more money than a great strategy executed inconsistently. It really is that simple. Now, to a couple of different perspectives on it, if you want to restate it, if you want consistent profits, you really need to focus on consistency first. When you get the consistency part right, adjusting for profit becomes easy. It really does. Or even more simply stated, consistency matters more than the strategy that you use. It really does. If you can't be consistent, the strategy is of limited value. Okay, so saying, okay, yeah, Brian, that's pretty obvious, but why doesn't it happen? Well, generally there are two things happening that keep you from enjoying consistency. First is the approach that most traders take. It really is backwards from a consistency standpoint. And second is not understanding the obstacles that keep you from being able to execute consistently. So here's what I'm talking about with the approach. I mean, if the goal is consistent output, because you're trading over and over and over again, it's a process. Most traders are taking the wrong approach from a process perspective. I mean, here's what most traders do. They look for a good strategy, and then they try to figure out how to be consistent with it. This is the hard way to go about it, again, from a process standpoint, from a quality assurance perspective. The better approach is to focus on consistency first and then profits, because it is so much easier to adjust consistent trading for better performance than it is to fix trading that is all over the place. Does that make sense? It really is. If you got a good consistent process, it's really easy to adjust that and make it more profitable. But if the consistency isn't there, it's really hard to fix. Okay, so here are the three obstacles that get in the way. Let's take a look at them, because this really is what keeps you from enjoying consistency if you're not enjoying it now. The first one, of course, deviating from your rules. You know, this is very common. This is what everybody talks about, and this is a common obstacle. But here's the thing. You know, this, you know, okay, as far as the deviating, you know, this is when you just plain don't do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, or you do things that you shouldn't. Now, the thing is, most traders see this as a result of emotions and a lack of discipline, excuse me, or some other psychological issue. But the thing is, you're not screwed up. You're not. It's not a you know, a lack of discipline or emotional control. What I've found in working with, you know, one-on-one with hundreds of traders is that most traders don't have significant psychological issues. You know, at least, you know, not what they bring to trading from the outside. As a person, they're a reasonably disciplined person, and they don't have emotional issues. They don't have psychological issues. And here's the proof. I mean, if you're feeling, because I have tons of people, you know, they'll email me or, you know, call me up and they're saying, Brian, you know, I've got a good system. What I need to fix is me. And they're thinking that they've got problems. Like I said, you're not screwed up. And here's the proof that you've already demonstrated that you have what it takes. Because most of the time, traders will say, you know, I've got, you know, discipline problems, or, you know, I've got, you know, money issue problems, or beliefs, or maybe it's some, you know, deep mommy daddy issue or something like that. The thing is, if you truly had those issues in any significant way, you wouldn't be in a position to trade. You just plain wouldn't have the capital and the wherewithal to even think about pursuing trading. The fact that you're here and you're in a position to trade, you've been able to amass enough money to start trading, demonstrates that you have what it takes. So the question is it possible that there's another cause of the deviation problem, one that's much easier to address? Okay, consider this. If you take a person of reasonable intelligence and ability and you throw them into a skill-based activity, but without adequate training and proper preparation, the experience is likely to be stressful, very difficult, not very successful, and it's going to be almost impossible for it not to be emotional. But if you take that same person and give them adequate training and proper preparation, and then put them in the activity, they'll just go do their thing, and they'll be fine. And you've probably seen this and experienced both sides of this yourself, or at least witnessed it in other people. But for traders, unfortunately, it's worse than inadequate training. For traders, the situation is even more challenging, and it's due to what I call the kiss of death. Okay, so what's this kiss of death, and how can you tell if it's happened to you? Well, it's an event that affects you mentally and emotionally in almost every aspect of your trading. And it's often a long-lasting, sometimes permanent effect. And here's where the problem begins. That is, most traders, like me, again, I'm not judging anybody, most traders unfortunately begin active trading very unprepared. And enough to be dangerous is probably the most appropriate description that I've found. It really is. So it's like, I know enough to be dangerous, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. And there's a crucial moment, though, a brief moment of time during which, for most traders, their fate is largely decided. And when you engage in an activity like trading without the proper training, many detrimental things get established for you in a deep and profound way. This kiss of death. When you begin trading with real money and you're still at the enough to be dangerous state, unaware of the skills that you need, and largely, if not completely, untrained as a trader, a number of things happen that set you on the course to ruin. This is the kiss of death. This is what we're talking about. Because see, prior to placing your first trade, everything was just kind of theoretical at that point. You were thinking about it, you hadn't done it yet, and so it's just something that's out there. But once you place that first trade, though, it then became reality for you. It went from being something that you were simply being something that you were thinking about, just some mental image out there. Now it's become an experience, and this is huge. During those early days of trading, you established a great majority of the mindset and mental framework that you would carry forward. Your expectations, your emotional responses, triggers, associations, your perceptions of yourself as a trader, your perceptions of the markets, trading itself, and many other points of reference all get established. One of the most damaging mental constructs that gets established during this critical period is what's normal. Just what you think is normal for trading and what it's like in the whole experience. So many traders, they get used to struggling, putting in long hours without realizing success, and they just get used to it. This becomes their normal. Now, the thing is, when you acted on that, another thing that happens is when you acted on that initial decision to go ahead and start trading, at a rather significant level mentally, you also kind of drew the conclusion that you were ready and that you had all you needed to get started. When that happens, your mind closes to a large degree and you stop looking to learn. This mind closing, combined with the apparent simplicity of trading, plus all the scams and misinformation out there, leaves most traders jaded and limited to thinking that, if they can just find a good system, then everything will somehow magically be okay. And mentally and emotionally, they get stuck. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Because see, really, what's so horrible about this, as preparing you or beginning your trading career, is this bad training. During those first crucial weeks and months of active trading, while you're not prepared for the challenges, you're still being trained, but it's bad training. And I mean, like my experience, my first several months, I was mostly just practicing bad trading. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm trying this, I'm trying that. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. I'm emotional the whole time. I was stressed. I'm chasing trades. I was just basically every day I was practicing bad trading. And I was practicing nervous, unskilled, and emotional trading. And that, again, kind of became my normal. And the thing is, since it's your actual experience and not just something that you're hearing about or thinking about, this bad training is getting hardwired into you in the process, just like any other training where it's, you go and do. Anytime you're getting trained like that, it's getting wired into you. So your conscious experience is wiring your brain, and your emotional experience is wiring your nervous system throughout your body. And this is critical for you to understand because it's something that happens, and it happens to almost everybody. Almost everybody starts off this way in trading. Okay, so back to the deviating. Really, it's not simply a matter of, am I just being disciplined enough? The emotional, undisciplined trading has been established as the normal and how you got wired in your early days and weeks of trading with real money. It's how you got trained in the beginning. So the question is, so seriously, can you see how maybe it's not a matter of just a simple lack of discipline, but really a matter of established bad mental habits and ingrained emotional responses? Yeah. Okay. Obstacle number 2, changes. This one's huge, and this is one of the ones that goes largely overlooked. Really does. See, most traders, and probably you, I'm the same way, again, not judging, most traders have the natural impulse to do something when things aren't working. Okay, in life and in general, this is a good thing. You're not just going to, let things run badly like your car. But in trading, this can present problems that accumulate over time. If your system, here's what we're talking about, if your system doesn't appear to be working, and you go in and you make an adjustment, you try to fix it and get it working again. The thing is, if you're doing this on a regular basis, making regular adjustments and modifications, over time they add up. And so after 3 to 6 months, you are probably working with a substantially different system than you were at the beginning of this period. And the thing is, so you got something and it's working now, and it didn't work, you make an adjustment, didn't work, you make an adjustment, didn't work, you tweak this. And over time, you've made a whole bunch of changes, but now you're sitting there saying it's not working. And I don't know which changes helped and which hurt, which didn't work. And a lot of times with a lot of people that come to me, they're like, they don't even know where they're really starting, their starting point really was and what worked to start with. So, just the fact, and again, it's changes. So, can you see how, actually you can be actually sticking to your system, following the rules, but if that system is getting changed, adjusted, or tweaked regularly, how that would affect the consistency of your results from one month to the next? Yeah, it's huge. Like I said, for some traders, they're making changes almost on a daily basis, at least on a weekly basis, at the very least on a monthly basis, and going and making adjustments here and there and this and this. So that comes to the next question. Can you also see that if no one ever showed you how to go about making changes to your system in a calculated, organized, and business-like manner, that this would again be a matter of a lack of good training rather than a personal matter of discipline or self-control? Yeah, it's because nobody showed you how to do this in a manner where you're not screwing yourself up. You're doing the trader shuffle. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, slide to the side, do it over again. No, you continue to make good. If you're trained, if you understand the process, you can continue to make steps forward, not keep just running in circles. Okay. Obstacle number 3, not having a solid system to start with. Again, this one goes largely overlooked completely. And really, for me, this was brought home back in 2009. I went through a spell. Maybe it was because of the crash of 2008. But I had a bunch of people coming to me, and they're looking for help with hesitation. That was like the theme of this period. And talking with everybody, talking with all my clients, who explored the normal psychological notions of this is why they're doing what they're doing. But we didn't really find anything that was standing out. And on the phone with this guy Bill one day, and it came to me to ask him to share his system with me, just talk me through his system. And that was a real aha moment for me and him and everybody else. And here's what we're talking about. We went through his system in detail, and what we found was, because we're talking, and he was kind of stressed out and still feeling a little bit down, and I said, talking through your system, and he piped up because he liked his system, and now his energy's back up, and he starts into it, and it didn't take long though, and he hits a part where he's having a hard time explaining it to me. And it's like, okay, well let's just move up past that, and his energy picks back up, but then he gets, he's frustrated again, and he's having a hard time explaining it. And we went through a system, and what was cool was, again, from a quality perspective, I know how to fix process issues like this. And so we fixed the functional issues with his system, and it was really cool. And when we did that, his hesitation just fell away. And what we figured out from this was his hesitation was happening because subconsciously he knew that there were problems with the system itself. And that's why he was hesitating, but consciously he didn't know why. And he also didn't know how to recognize and how to fix them. It was just a problem that kept plaguing him. It's like, I'm hesitating, but I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. But I can't seem to get past it. And it was because he didn't have a solid system to start with. And the thing is, when you have a system that's not really good, it provides this inherent variability, and it's like an inconsistency that's built into what you do. And again, coming from a quality background and working with traders for a lot of years, I've come up with, or I've discovered that there are 11 different characteristics of a good system. And the thing is, most traders are working with a system that's lacking in several of these characteristics, and they wonder why they're having a hard time, and they don't realize it's not a matter of discipline. Maybe they're making a lot of changes to their system, but also their system itself is contributing to the problem in a way that they don't understand. And the thing is, with some traders, they don't really even have a system. It's more of an idea for a system. And they wonder why they're having a hard time, being consistent. Well, again, back to quality. From my quality days, I know what makes for a good, repeatable, predictable process that will produce consistent results. That was my job back in quality. And it's amazing how many traders are sticking to their system and not changing it, but are plagued with lousy results because of the system itself. It really is. And we're going to come back to this in just a minute. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the 4 consistent profit keys. In helping thousands of traders over the last 17 years, I found that there are 4 things, four keys that every trader needs to get consistently profitable in a reasonable period of time. Okay, so what's a reasonable time? Well, in and of itself, trading is not so complex that it requires years to understand and become competent. However, it does not lend itself to being figured out. You probably have experienced this. The markets will just, continue to slap you and take your money without telling you what you're doing wrong. And that's why in most trading books, it says that, yeah, it's going to take 5 to 22 years to become a consistently profitable trader. If you're trying to figure it out by yourself, just beating your head on the rock, yeah, it's going to take a while. I mean, it just takes that long to figure out, when you're going it all alone and trying to figure it out by yourself. So the problem is when you go about it that way, you don't know what you don't know, and you can't see what you can't see. And again, the markets will just slap you and keep taking your money. But if you have good help, you can get there in a few months or even just a matter of weeks. If you've been trading for more than 6 months and you're losing money or struggling to make it, that's a clear indication that you might want to reconsider your approach. It really should not take more than 6 months, seriously. Okay, so let's take a look at the 4 keys. The 4 keys every trader needs to get consistently profitable. Consistent profit key number 1 is you need a true system. How can you expect consistent results if you yourself are inconsistent in what you're doing? If you're going in and you're just being random and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to get consistent results. You have to be consistent in what you do if you want consistent profit. Now, if you have a good strategy, and this is why, if you have a good strategy, you want to execute that strategy over and over and over and over again. I mean, if it's making you money, yeah, you want to do it as many times as you can, right? Well, see, here's one mistake that so many traders are, and they're often led to make, is thinking that a good strategy equals a good system. But a strategy and a system are 2 entirely different matters. Your strategy is how you plan to get in and out of the markets and make money. Like trading market reversals or, retracements on a trend or, selling options or whatever. But that's how you're going to get in and out. Your system, however, is how you're going to execute that strategy hundreds or even thousands of times consistently. That's the difference. And a strategy and a system are not one and the same. Okay, so what is a trading system? When I ask most traders this question, I usually get the following answers. It's my rules, or it's my rules and my indicators. But the thing is, for my quality days, here's the distinction. And mentally, this is important for you to remember and hang on to. Your trading system is what you do. It includes your rules and indicators, but it's what you do in the process of trading. And this is why it's so important to have your system documented. When I ask most traders, yeah, is your system documented? They usually get the following answers. No, or yeah, but I don't really use it. I've got it written down. But hey, I know my system so well, I don't even need to look at it. And so they're trading from memory every day. The thing is, when you get your system properly defined and documented, it makes a huge difference in being able to execute consistently. It really does. I mean, for example, the results the main thing is you have a reference to keep deviations and changes under control. That's like one of the biggest things right there. The other thing is really, and this is a cool effect of it, that a lot of times the confusion that you're feeling gets replaced with clarity just from documenting your system properly. Plus, a tremendous reduction in stress and fear. And needless to say, yes, it also makes for much easier execution. Okay, so key number 2 for consistent profits is skills and confidence. Trading requires more than simply the ability to place trades. There's a range of skills that you need to be a self-sufficient, successful trader. Of course, you need to be competent and have confidence in yourself and your system. So, as far as consistent profits, yes, you need skills and confidence. Because see, the thing is, fear is one of the big killers in trading, and it comes in many forms. Most of the fears come from doubt about yourself and or your system. As you develop skill, you learn, and you develop the competence as a trader, you replace fear with confidence, and so you can execute consistently with much greater ease. But if you don't develop and focus on your skills and competence and education, you're stuck in the same point. Here's a good example with Mary Beth. She wrote in, "Dear Brian, certainly I've noticed some concrete improvements in my trading. I've learned to cut my losses on a dime. I've learned to follow my signals rather than second-guessing my system all the time. That was my Achilles heel, was second-guessing myself. But she said the fear factor is greatly diminished. And for these improvements, I'm thankful. So really, documenting your system, and again, skills and confidence are huge. The profit key number 3, and this speaks to the kiss of death that I talk about, is mental conditioning. And it's different from just focusing on discipline. This really is to make it so that the events of the day no longer trigger the emotions that cause all the problems. This is not about controlling your emotions. This is instead about getting you mentally right so that your emotions are not a problem. And it's a whole different approach. And again, it's from my quality days, and this is how we used to do this. I mean, first of all, you probably did experience the kiss of death, at least to a certain degree. Your early days is trading and setting, a bunch of bad perspectives or habits or, emotional responses. We have to undo that damage. And then we identify and remove the factors that are at the root of the problem and retrain you in a constructive manner so that you operate every day with confidence and peace of mind. And key number 4, I'm going to have to pick it up just a little bit because we're getting toward the end of things. But key number 4 really, and this is huge, is get outside help. Because again, trading does not lend itself to being figured out. You can't just jump into it and say, okay, markets, it's just me and you, and I'm looking at the chart and I'm going to figure this out. It doesn't work that way. Again, the markets will just keep slapping you and taking your money. I've had people come to me, one guy a few months ago, he had been trading for 14 years. I have a lot of people come to me, they've been trading 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 years. This guy had been trading for 14 years. Good guy, smart guy, hardworking, sincere guy, but he had been stuck just forever. And again, he just couldn't figure out what it was, and he was stuck. And getting that outside perspective, it was less than 6 weeks, and he was so relaxed, and he was making money, and he was thrilled, and he was able to actually take a vacation with his wife. And it was because the outside perspective, again, because he couldn't see what he couldn't see. He didn't know what he didn't know. And that's the thing. Same for all of us. This is true for all of us. You, me, anybody. We can't see what we can't see. If we can't see something right now, we can't do anything about it. As far as what you don't know. Perfect example here with Adrian. Great guy. It was a lot of fun. Since we had our one-on-one coaching, I can honestly say that I've made huge leaps forward. I've seen a dramatic and measured improvement and feel much more confident, relaxed, and able to pull the trigger when I need to than before. Before the coaching, I felt that I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I just couldn't get there. I now feel that I'm actually in the light and moving forward. And it's Adrian. He's an individual trader over in the UK. Okay, let's take a quick breather. I know we've covered a lot here. It can be a lot to take in, but let's do a quick recap, of what we've looked at. We looked at the simple secret to making money trading, and that is an average or even mediocre strategy executed consistently will outperform and make more money than a great strategy executed inconsistently. Or if you want to really boil it down to 4 words, consistency first, strategy second. The 3 obstacles to consistent profits. Obstacle 1, deviating from your system, not so much from a lack of discipline, but the effects of the kiss of death and establishing a bad normal early on, especially the emotional response patterns that were wired into you early on. That's one of the big ones. Okay, obstacle 2 is the regular changes to your system that can add up over time. Obstacle 3 is having a good strategy but a lousy system. And that happens all the time. Difference between a strategy and a system and why it's so important to know the difference. The importance of documenting your system and doing it properly. We looked at the 4 things that traders need to realize consistent profits in a reasonable time. The first one, you got to have a solid system. It actually is a good system. You got to have skills and confidence. You need the mental conditioning so that it's not just a war with your emotions and again the discipline fight. Willpower always loses, always does. The 4th key, probably the most important one, is outside help. I sought it out, and all my clients, they've sought it out. It's what's made the difference for them. Okay, so I got a few questions for you, real quick. Was our time together thus far enjoyable for you? I hope it was. Hopefully, this was an enjoyable experience, not just educational. And also, have you found it valuable? Do you now feel more comfortable with your ability to make money as a trader now that you have these different perspectives? Maybe some of these things have been tripping you up. and now you can move forward. Have you come up with some good ideas that you're already feeling excited about implementing in your trading? Again, implementation is the key. If it's just information and you take it in and you never do anything with it, not going to make a difference for you. So hopefully, yeah, you got some good ideas about implementing some of this in your trading. Also, would you say it's fair, that what you've learned here today will help you affect the better that you seek in your trading? I certainly hope so. Again, that's why I do this. I really want to help you, realize better in your trading and, realize your goals, because your trading can be great. Okay, last question for you. If you had two options, one being where you take what you learned here today and try to do it all by yourself, or option number two being where you had somebody hold you by the hand and help you, and that's done this hundreds of times over and helped other people do it, or you could get the help you never got in the beginning, which would you choose? Okay, well, if you thought option two, then I have some good news for you. I'll set aside some time to talk with you about your current situation. We'll take a look at it, and if it seems I can help, then I'll show you what it looks like to work with me, and we can both decide if it's a good fit. If it seems that it is a good fit, and you'd like to work with me, here's some of the results that some of my clients have enjoyed. Jonathan Crone. Hey, Brian, prior to working with you, I've been working on a few issues that had been holding back my trading for some time. With your insight into both trading and business, I've been able to clarify the challenges, devise solutions, and see improvements rather quickly. Thanks again. Rizwan from Pakistan. Dear Brian, extremely beneficial and very unique information for traders. Anyone from novice to experts will benefit from it alike. You think only finding the right trading system does it all. No way. You have to know this stuff on top of your trading system to generate a complete and ultra-successful trading environment. And Miko Hillman said, I just want to say that I'm really enjoying this training. It's revealed some things that I didn't know about myself and made changes for the better. You're very good teacher, and I enjoy the thoroughness of the process. It's pretty intense, which I like, and I'm excited to see the effect it has on my trading. Okay, so if, again, if you're thinking option two, you'd like some help, go to this link here, and I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat. And you can schedule a call with me. And let's see, get over to the chat. Everybody. All right, get in there. There we go. Okay, so that's in the chat. And also, if you, like I said, your gift for attending. Again, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully it's been helpful. This report, I know you'll enjoy it and you will get good benefit out of it. It's called The Proven Formula for Highly Profitable Traders. You can go to this link here and get instant access to it. And again, I'll pop this in the chat and you can go get the report there. So we've got about 2 minutes. If you've got any questions, I'm going to check out the questions in the chat. Okay. Now, a couple of questions that do commonly pop up when it, as far as working with me. What I essentially do is I walk you through the 4 keys. I help you make sure that you get your system solid and it's really good, and you know it's solid and it's really built for consistency. I train you on the skills that you need beyond just executing your system. And also one of those skills is building confidence, just establishing a confidence. It doesn't just happen. There's a specific process for establishing the confidence that you need to go into your trading every day with that peace of mind that you want to, and I can train you on that as well. And the mental conditioning is really a huge part of it. Once we get your system settled down, just getting you through the mental conditioning to undo the damage that's already taken place, and then getting you set to where your new normal is trading every day comfortably and consistently and making money. And things that happen, they don't affect you and wreck your day or your account. So again, I hope this has been helpful. And let's see. Oh, Dave, thanks for your comment. I'm working with Brian right now, seeing excellent trading results already. Yeah, again, cool. Yeah, Dave, he's a lot of fun to work with. Good guy. Thanks for throwing that in there, Dave. And my time is up, so I need to, we've hit our 45 minutes, and I believe Norm Hallett is coming on next. Great guy. Listen to what he says. Norman's an excellent guy. I've known him since 2006. Excellent guy. Knows what he's doing. Very helpful, sincere, and so, yeah, it's time for me to hand it over. Are we ready, Rob? Norm?
Brian, I am absolutely here. I want to thank you for providing our audience with all that incredibly valuable information, and even myself for doing a little self-reflection and analysis as you went through it, and seeing if I can improve my trading by applying a little of what you said. It's amazing how the proper training success usually comes easily and very naturally to most of us. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in working with the consistency coach, you can find Mr. McAvoy at www.insideouttrading.com. The links are in the chat box. Thanks again, Brian, for taking time out of your Saturday and joining us. Your presentation was great. I can't tell you how much, even on a personal level, I appreciated it.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and attending. And again, I hope it was helpful for everybody.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's Norman. I appreciate it. It was very good.
Cool, Norm. Glad
I haven't seen you on these. Can I spend my first couple of seconds with Brian here?
You can.
You started to get into these talks. You did a really, really smooth job. Very, very nice. And, of course, your information. Brian's right. Only he would know the year that we started. But we've been going back and forth together and doing some things together over the years. So I'm really, really, I really enjoyed your presentation.
Well, thanks, Norm. Yeah, when I saw you were right after me on this, I was like, cool, Norm, all right.
Can you give me a little more detail though next time? That's what we're all engineers. A lot of traders are engineers, and if you're an engineer, you're gonna get along very, very well with Brian because he's very, he doesn't leave a stone unturned. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Cool. Well, thanks, Norm. And I'll let you go ahead and get on with your presentation here. Thanks for the
appreciate it.
And excellent. Thanks, everybody. Cool.